Every woman may admire looks, charm, or style for a while, but when it comes to the kind of man she will truly honor, deeply respect, and forever appreciate, it's not about surface level attraction. It's about qualities that touch her soul, values that make her proud to stand beside him, and strength that makes her feel safe in his presence. Today, let's dive into the type of man that no woman ever forgets. A woman will always honor a man who leads with purpose, because purpose is not just about goals or achievements. It is about direction, clarity, and vision. A man who has purpose knows why he wakes up every morning, why he makes the choices he does, and why he refuses to be distracted by things that do not serve him. He is not wandering aimlessly through life, chasing temporary pleasures or meaningless recognition. Instead, he is guided by something deeper, something higher, something that gives his existence weight. When a woman sees a man anchored in his mission, she naturally feels a sense of respect, because she knows he is not easily shaken by circumstances or swayed by temptations. His presence radiates strength because he lives intentionally, and that intentionality gives him authority without him ever needing to demand it. A man with purpose is not loud about it, nor does he need validation from the world to confirm it. His purpose is visible in the discipline of his lifestyle, in the consistency of his efforts, and in the unwavering energy he pours into building something that matters. He does not have time to waste on drama, gossip, or the shallow games people play, because his attention is consumed by something far more important, his vision. A woman feels honored to stand beside such a man because his presence alone elevates her life, giving her a sense that she is connected to someone who is going somewhere. She does not have to wonder about his next move because his life is not built on randomness, it is built on intention. Purpose makes a man dependable. Women naturally admire men who they can count on, men who will not crumble at the first sign of difficulty. And a man with purpose does not simply react to life, he leads it. He knows that challenges will come, but his mission gives him the strength to endure. This is what makes a woman respect him, his ability to keep moving forward even when the odds are stacked against him. She knows that with such a man, she is not walking behind someone blind, but beside someone who knows the way. His clarity becomes her security, his vision becomes her comfort, and his leadership becomes the foundation of the relationship. When a man lives with purpose, he does not need to chase after a woman to prove his worth. His purpose itself makes him magnetic. Women feel drawn to men who have ambition, not because of the material results it may bring, but because ambition reflects inner strength. It shows that he is not content with mediocrity, that he demands more from life, and that he refuses to live passively. His drive is inspiring, and a woman cannot help but feel admiration for a man who holds himself to a higher standard. Even in silence, she sees it in his actions, his ability to commit, to sacrifice, and to stay consistent when others give up. A purposeful man is not selfish with his vision either. He carries people with him, and he uplifts those around him. A woman values this because it shows her that his purpose is not just about ego, it is about impact. He is not trying to prove himself to the world, he is trying to build something meaningful for the world. And when she sees him walking this path, it stirs something within her heart, making her feel proud, safe, and inspired. To her, this is a man worth honoring because his life is not just about him, it is about something far greater. A woman will always admire and honor the man who is emotionally strong because emotional strength is the foundation of true masculinity. It is not about being stone-hearted, nor is it about pretending to be unaffected by pain. Instead, emotional strength is the ability to master one's emotions rather than being mastered by them. A man who is emotionally strong does not allow his anger to control him, his fears to paralyze him, or his insecurities to dictate his actions. He understands his emotions, but he never lets them cloud his judgment. And when a woman sees this, she recognizes a man who can stand firm in chaos, who can be her calm when storms surround her, and who can remain collected when the world is falling apart. This ability gives her a sense of peace because she knows he will not collapse under pressure, but will rise above it. Emotional strength is rare in a world where many men mistake impulsiveness for power and aggression for dominance. But the man who is truly strong inside does not need to prove his masculinity through uncontrolled outbursts or destructive behavior. He shows it in his composure, in his ability to stay steady when everyone else loses balance, and in the quiet dignity with which he handles conflict. He does not run from difficult conversations, nor does he allow his pride to blind him to the truth. Instead, he meets challenges with patience, with logic, with a steady hand and a grounded spirit. Women deeply respect this quality because it creates safety. Safety not just in the physical sense, but safety in knowing that she can trust him with her heart, with her emotions, and with her vulnerability, without fearing that he will mishandle them. A man who is emotionally strong is also a man who can provide stability, and stability is one of the most powerful things a woman seeks in a partner. When she looks at him, she doesn't just see a man. She sees a pillar, someone she can lean on without worrying that he will break. She honors him because he can carry his own burdens without placing them on others, and because he can face adversity without falling into despair. His emotional resilience shows her that he is not fragile, that he is not defined by failures, and that he has the ability to rebuild even when everything seems lost. A man like this becomes more than just a partner. He becomes an anchor in a world full of uncertainty. There is also a quiet confidence that comes with emotional strength. A man who is strong within does not need to control others because he already controls himself. He does not need constant validation because he knows his worth. He does not get easily offended because he is secure in who he is. And this is what makes women admire him even more, because he does not allow external noise to disturb his inner peace. He listens more than he reacts, he reflects more than he accuses, and he understands before he judges. This kind of man becomes a safe space, someone who can absorb tension rather than add to it, someone who can resolve problems instead of escalating them. A woman treasures this because emotional strength is the kind of leadership that makes her feel safe to let down her guard. She knows that when life tests them, he will not abandon her emotionally, nor will he make her feel like a burden for expressing herself. Instead, his stability will give her comfort, his patience will give her assurance, and his calmness will give her the strength to face her own battles. And because he can manage himself, he can also manage the relationship with wisdom and maturity. His strength becomes her safety net, his calm becomes her grounding force, and his emotional depth becomes the very reason she honors him at the core of her being. A woman will always admire and respect the man who knows how to protect without controlling, because protection is one of the deepest masculine instincts, but when it is expressed with balance, it becomes one of the most honorable traits in a man. Protection is not about locking someone away, taking away their freedom, or treating them like they are incapable of making their own decisions. Real protection is not suffocation, it is empowerment. It is standing as a shield without becoming a prison. It is allowing her to flourish while knowing that if anything threatens her peace, he will stand between her and the danger without hesitation. A woman treasures this because it shows her that he values her independence but still carries the strength to safeguard her when life becomes harsh. This balance makes her honor him because he does not have to demand her trust. He earns it through the way he protects without ever taking away her dignity. When a man protects without controlling, it reveals his confidence in himself and in her. He does not need to dominate her choices or dictate her movements because he knows that his presence alone is powerful enough. He trusts her to live, to express, to grow, and to shine, and at the same time she knows that if she were to stumble, he would be there to catch her. This is what makes her appreciate him. His protection does not come from fear or insecurity, but from love and responsibility. She does not feel caged by him. She feels free with him because he creates an environment where her spirit can breathe, while still knowing that he would never allow harm to touch her. That kind of man becomes unforgettable in her heart because he gives her both wings and a shield, and this is a rare combination. Many men confuse protection with control, believing that to keep a woman safe, they must limit her choices, silence her voice, or restrict her actions. But this is not protection, it is possession. A woman does not respect the man who tries to own her because control is born out of insecurity, and insecurity kills admiration. What she respects is the man who stands strong enough to let her be herself, yet powerful enough to confront any threat that may cross her path. Real masculinity is not proven in dominance, but in the ability to guard without restricting, to care without suffocating, and to love without making her feel small. She appreciates him because she knows that his protection does not diminish her strength. It enhances it. A man who protects without controlling understands the delicate balance between vulnerability and strength in a relationship. He knows that a woman may be strong, independent, and capable of handling life, but that does not mean she does not want to feel safe in the presence of a man. His protection is not about questioning her ability, but about offering her comfort, knowing that even the strongest woman desires a place where she can rest, let her guard down, and trust someone else to watch over her. His protection gives her that place, and because he does not try to control her, she feels secure enough to trust him fully. It is this trust that transforms her admiration into loyalty, because she recognizes that his strength is not a weapon against her, but a fortress around her. And when a man protects in this way, he does not even need to announce it. His actions speak for him. The way he carries himself, the way he stands up for her when needed, the way he makes her feel safe just by being near. These are things she never forgets. She feels valued, not caged. She feels cherished, not controlled. She feels seen, not silenced. And that is why a woman will always honor the man who knows the difference between protection and possession, because he shows her that true strength is not in limiting her freedom, but in ensuring her safety while still letting her live fully. A woman will always honor the man who commands respect through his actions, because words alone are never enough to build trust, loyalty, or admiration. Promises can be made in moments of passion, intentions can be spoken in times of weakness, and sweet words can be used to cover lies. But actions never lie. A man's true character is not in what he says, it is in what he consistently does. And when a woman sees that his actions align with his words, when she witnesses that he lives by the principles he speaks about, her respect for him grows naturally, without him ever needing to demand it. Respect is never something a man can force from a woman. It is something he must earn through the way he lives, the way he shows up, and the way he proves over time that he is who he claims to be. A man who commands respect through his actions is a man of integrity. Integrity is not about being perfect, but about being real, being accountable, and being dependable. If he says he will do something, he does it. If he gives his word, he keeps it. If he makes a promise, he treats it as sacred. A woman observes these details, and they matter more than men often realize. She notices when his actions match his voice, when his behavior mirrors his commitments, and when his consistency makes her feel secure. It is not the grand gestures that make her respect him. It is the quiet consistency, the small details, and the reliability that build her trust. A man who embodies integrity does not even need to raise his voice to gain authority, because his actions already speak louder than anything he could say. Women deeply value a man whose discipline reflects in his lifestyle. A man who commands respect through actions is not careless with his time, his health, or his responsibilities. He takes charge of his life in a way that inspires her. She sees the way he handles his challenges, how he works with focus, how he builds habits that strengthen his character. Discipline is attractive because it represents self-control, and self-control is the root of leadership. When a man is consistent in his actions, he is telling her silently that he can be trusted, that he can be relied upon, and that his strength is not temporary. It is part of his nature. A man who lives like this does not need to demand respect, because respect flows to him naturally. Another reason a woman honors such a man is because his actions reveal his values more than his words ever could. If he says he respects women but disrespects his mother, his sister, or strangers, she knows his words are empty. If he says he is loyal but his actions show betrayal, she knows his promises are false. But if his actions consistently reflect honesty, loyalty, kindness, and strength, she cannot help but admire him. A man's treatment of others, especially in situations where he has nothing to gain, reveals the kind of man he truly is. A woman watches these details, and when she sees that his actions hold weight, she honors him not only for how he treats her, but for how he treats the world. A man who commands respect through actions is also unshakable when it comes to challenges. He does not collapse under pressure, and he does not let failures define him. Instead, he keeps moving, proving through his persistence that he is not built to quit. She sees this and honors his resilience, because his actions under pressure show her that he is dependable, not just in good times, but in storms as well. Anyone can be strong when life is easy, but only a man of substance can stand tall when life is difficult. His strength is not proven by declarations, it is proven in the way he behaves when everything is at risk, and that is the kind of action that inspires admiration on the deepest level. A woman will always admire and respect the man who does not break under pressure, because pressure is the ultimate test of character. It is easy to be confident when life is smooth, to appear strong when nothing is at stake, to smile when the world is giving you everything you want. But true strength is revealed when life demands resilience, when struggles pile up, when setbacks seem endless, and when the weight of responsibilities becomes almost unbearable. A man who does not crumble in those moments, who does not run from hardship, but instead stands taller in the face of adversity, becomes unforgettable in the eyes of a woman. She sees in him not just physical strength, but the kind of inner resilience that makes her feel safe, because if he can withstand the storms of life, then she knows he can also be the anchor she can hold on to when her own storms arrive. A man who doesn't break under pressure carries himself differently. There is a calmness in his energy, a steadiness in his demeanor, a confidence that comes not from arrogance but from experience. He has faced battles, he has endured failures, he has been tested by life, and yet he refuses to let those moments define him as weak. Instead, he uses every challenge as fuel, every loss as a lesson, and every difficulty as a stepping stone to greater strength. A woman watching this kind of resilience cannot help but feel respect, because she knows such a man cannot be easily shaken. He is not fragile, not built on shallow confidence, but forged in the fire of struggle. His presence alone radiates reliability, because he has already proven through his life that no matter what comes his way, he will not be defeated. There is also something deeply attractive about a man who stays composed when others panic. When pressure rises, many men collapse. They lose their temper, they run into distraction, they drown themselves in temporary escapes. But the man who remains calm, who keeps his head clear, and who chooses to respond with wisdom instead of reaction, displays a rare form of masculine control. A woman treasures this because she feels that with such a man, she does not have to fear instability or chaos in her relationship. His strength under pressure is not just for himself. It becomes the foundation of her security as well. She can lean on him, trust his judgment, and know that no matter how difficult the situation becomes, he will not abandon his role as the protector, the guide, and the leader. A man who doesn't break under pressure also shows persistence. He does not give up when things get hard. He adapts, he learns, he pushes forward. A woman respects this deeply because she sees that he is not the type to let failure crush him. Instead of complaining, he rebuilds. Instead of quitting, he grows stronger. Instead of being defined by defeat, he allows it to sharpen him. His persistence shows her that he is a man she can build with, a man she can trust to hold the weight of life's responsibilities without surrendering to weakness. It is not that he never struggles, it is that he never allows the struggle to break him. That is the kind of determination that earns a woman's admiration at the deepest level. And beyond persistence, there is an aura of leadership that comes from this kind of strength. People naturally look to the man who remains standing when everyone else has fallen. Women in particular honor such a man because they know his resilience is not only for himself but for those around him. His refusal to break under pressure becomes a source of inspiration, a reason for others to keep going, and a silent assurance that no matter how heavy the load, he can carry it. In his unshakable spirit, she sees a protector, a provider, and a man whose very presence brings stability in an unstable world. A woman will always honor the man who knows how to balance masculinity with compassion, because strength without kindness becomes harshness, and compassion without strength becomes weakness. But when a man is able to embody both, when he can be powerful and gentle, commanding and tender, protective yet nurturing, he becomes unforgettable. This balance is rare because it requires a man to rise above extremes. Too often, men are taught that masculinity means being cold, distant, or unfeeling, while others swing to the opposite side and abandon strength in an attempt to be soft. But the man who carries authority in his presence, yet warmth in his heart, is the one who wins not only respect, but deep admiration. He is strong enough to fight battles, yet tender enough to hold her when she feels weak. He can stand tall in the face of life's storms, yet lower himself in humility to listen, to understand, and to comfort. Masculinity is not in aggression, but in presence. A man who embodies true masculinity carries himself with confidence, direction, and leadership. He knows who he is, he knows what he stands for, and he does not bend easily under the pressures of the world. This strength creates a sense of security for the woman by his side. She feels safe in his energy, knowing that he can protect, provide, and lead. Yet what elevates him above the ordinary is not just his masculine power, but his ability to temper it with compassion. He is not harsh in his leadership, he is not cold in his guidance, and he is not detached in his strength. Instead, he brings warmth into his authority, kindness into his dominance, and empathy into his power. This duality is what makes a woman not just love him, but honor him. Compassion is not weakness, it is controlled strength. A compassionate man is not one who avoids confrontation or hides from responsibility. He is the man who has the courage to be gentle when others are cruel, to forgive when others seek revenge, to understand when others dismiss. He does not let his ego blind him to the emotions of those around him, and he does not mistake kindness for surrender. A woman values this deeply because she sees that his compassion is not a lack of masculinity, it is the highest form of it. It takes real strength to be kind in a world that tests you with betrayal, anger, and injustice. It takes true masculinity to show empathy without losing authority, to show love without losing respect, to show softness without losing strength. When a man balances masculinity with compassion, he knows how to handle both power and vulnerability. He can be the warrior who protects her from harm, and at the same time, the comforter who wipes away her tears. He can stand like a wall against the world and yet become a safe place where she can let down her guard. She admires him for this because he does not make her choose between love and respect. He gives her both. His strength commands her admiration and his compassion melts her heart. This combination is what makes him unforgettable because it creates a bond that goes beyond attraction and touches the deepest parts of her soul. And most importantly, a man who carries both strength and compassion shows her that he is not afraid of balance. He is not insecure in his masculinity, so he does not need to hide his tenderness. He is not afraid of showing love because he knows that his strength speaks for itself. This confidence makes him magnetic because he is complete. A woman honors him not just because he is strong and not just because he is kind, but because he knows how to be both at once. His masculinity protects her and his compassion heals her, creating the perfect harmony that every woman longs for, but so few truly find. So when you look at all of this, understand one thing clearly: respect, honor, and admiration are never given to a man just because he asks for them. They are not automatic, they are not demanded, they are earned. Women will always honor the man who carries himself with purpose, who is emotionally strong, who protects without controlling, who proves himself through actions, who does not break under pressure, and who balances masculinity with compassion. These are the timeless qualities that make a man unforgettable, that make him stand apart, and that make a woman feel proud to walk beside him. So the real question is not whether women value these traits. The question is, will you choose to embody them?